My granddaughter wouldn't sleep. She kept staring at the window. When I asked why, she whispered, "Grandpa, I'm scared of Mom." I laughed at first. Then she grabbed my hand and said, "Look under her boat." I went down to the dock. I bent down and my body went cold. "My name is Thomas Reed. I'm 67 years old. I live near the lakeside town of Willow Creek." What I found that night changed how I saw my own family forever. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you are listening in the comments. I wish I'd trusted my instincts sooner. When a child tells you they're afraid of their own parent, you don't laugh it off. You don't explain it away as imagination. You don't assume bedtime nerves or bad dreams. I did all of that. And I was wrong. It started the week my daughter moved back to the lake. She said it was temporary, a fresh start. Said the city had gotten too expensive, too loud, too crowded. She bought a small house near the water, with a narrow dock and an old aluminum boat she kept tied just offshore. From the outside, it looked peaceful. From the inside, something felt off. My granddaughter, Lily, is 6, bright, curious, the kind of child who asks too many questions and laughs too loudly. Normally, she runs to me when I visit, throws her arms around my waist, chatters nonstop about school or drawings or whatever new animal she's obsessed with that week. That first weekend at the lake, she didn't. She hovered near the doorway, eyes darting between me and her mother. "She's tired," my daughter said quickly. "The move's been hard." I nodded. Accepted it. I wanted to believe her, but Lily didn't stop watching. Not me, the house, the windows, the dock. At dinner, she barely touched her food. When her mother spoke, Lily flinched, not dramatically, not enough to draw attention, just a small tightening of her shoulders like she was bracing. "Eat," her mother said sharply. Lily picked up her fork immediately. That night, Lily insisted on sleeping in the guest room with me. "She's just excited you're here," my daughter said, laughing too loudly. She's always been dramatic. I didn't argue. Around midnight, Lily woke me by shaking my arm. "Grandpa," she whispered. I turned toward her. "What is it, sweetheart?" Her eyes were wide, reflecting the faint light from the hallway. "I'm scared." "Of the dark?" I asked gently. She shook her head. "Of Mom?" That should have stopped me cold. Instead, I did what adults often do. I minimized. "Your mom loves you," I said softly. "She'd never hurt you." Lily didn't answer. She just pulled the blanket tighter around herself and stared at the door until she fell asleep again. The next day, I watched more closely. My daughter kept Lily close, too close. Correcting her constantly, touching her shoulder when Lily spoke out of turn, standing just a bit too near, as if reminding her she was being watched, and Lily responded the same way every time. Immediate silence, immediate obedience. That afternoon, Lily followed me down to the dock while her mother was inside on the phone. The lake was calm, glassy, reflecting the pale sky. The boat rocked gently, tied to the cleat. Lily stopped at the edge of the dock. She wouldn't step onto it. "What's wrong?" I asked. She glanced back toward the house, then leaned in close to me. "Don't tell Mom," she whispered. I crouched down so we were eye level. "Tell me what?" Her lip trembled. "She hides things." "Where?" I asked. She pointed at the boat. "Under it." I felt a small chill, but I forced a smile. "Under the boat," she nodded quickly. "That's why she doesn't let me swim or go near it." I straightened. My daughter had been unusually strict about the water, always hovering, always making excuses. "Lily," I said carefully, "what kind of things?" She hesitated, then whispered, "Bad things." Before I could ask more, my daughter's voice cut through the air. "Lily, get away from the dock." Lily jumped like she'd been burned and ran back toward the house. My daughter smiled at me, but her eyes were sharp. "Kids and their stories," she said. "She's been making things up since the move." I watched Lily disappear inside. That night, Lily refused to sleep alone again. When I tucked her in, she grabbed my sleeve. "Promise me," she said. "Promise what?" "If Mom gets mad, you won't leave me." My throat tightened. "I promise," I said, and I meant it. Later, after the house went quiet, I heard my daughter moving around downstairs. The back door opened, closed. I checked the clock, 2:14 a.m. I stood at the guest room window and watched her walk down the path toward the dock. She carried something heavy. I couldn't see what. She knelt near the edge of the dock, straining. Then she looked up suddenly, directly at the window. I stepped back, heart pounding. The next morning, Lily was quieter than ever. When her mother stepped out to run errands, Lily finally spoke again. "She did it last night," she said. "Did what?" She leaned in close, barely breathing. "She put more stuff under the boat." I stared at the lake through the window. "Lily," I said slowly, "has your mom ever told you not to talk about this?" Lily nodded. "She said if I tell, we won't be a family anymore." That was it. That was the moment something inside me shifted, because children don't invent fear like that. Fear like that is taught. When my daughter returned, I told her I was taking Lily for ice cream. She agreed too quickly. At the dock, while Lily waited on the bench, I crouched down and gripped the edge. The water was cold, dark, murky. I took a breath and leaned down, and that's when I saw it. Something wedged beneath the boat, something heavy, something wrapped tight in plastic. My heart slammed against my ribs. I didn't pull it out. Not yet. I stood up slowly, my legs weak, because whatever was under that boat explained why my granddaughter was afraid of her own mother. And I was terrified of what it meant. I didn't touch the thing under the boat. Not yet. I stood there for a long moment, staring at the water, listening to the faint slap of waves against the dock, trying to slow my breathing. Whatever was wrapped in that plastic didn't belong there. And the fact that my granddaughter knew about it, feared it, meant this wasn't just some harmless secret. "Grandpa," Lily called softly from behind me. I turned and forced a smile. "Go wait by the bench, sweetheart." She nodded and did exactly as she was told. No questions, no hesitation. That obedience scared me more than the object under the boat. On the drive for ice cream, Lily barely spoke. She stared out the window, fingers twisting the hem of her shirt. "Lily," I said gently, keeping my eyes on the road, "I need to ask you something important." She nodded without looking at me. "Has your mom ever asked you to help her hide things?" A pause. Then, almost too quiet to hear, "Sometimes." My grip tightened on the steering wheel. "What kinds of things?" "She says they're not for kids," Lily replied. "She says if people see them, they'll take me away." My stomach dropped. "Did she say who would take you?" Lily finally looked at me. Her eyes were serious in a way no 6-year-old should be. "She said you would." I pulled the car over. I turned to face her fully. "Lily, listen to me. I would never take you away from your mom unless you were in danger. Do you understand that?" She nodded slowly, but uncertainty lingered on her face. Back at the house, my daughter was waiting on the porch, arms crossed. "You were gone a while," she said. "Traffic," I replied. Her gaze flicked to Lily. "Did you behave?" "Yes, Mom," Lily said immediately. Too immediately. That night I didn't sleep. I lay awake listening to the house settle, every creak and groan sounding like a warning. Sometime after midnight, I heard the back door open again, softly, carefully. I got up and followed at a distance, staying in the shadows. Moonlight reflected off the lake as my daughter walked straight to the dock. She didn't turn on a light. She didn't hesitate. She knelt, reached under the boat, and adjusted whatever was there. I heard plastic shift against metal. Then she froze. She stood slowly and turned. Our eyes met across the water. Neither of us spoke. For a moment, the only sound was the lake. Then she straightened, her expression smoothing into something almost bored. "You shouldn't sneak around," she said. "It's dangerous." "What's under the boat?" I asked. She smiled, not warmly. "Nothing you need to worry about." "You involved Lily," I said. "That makes it my business." Her smile vanished. "You're overreacting," she snapped. "You always do. This is why I didn't want you staying so long." I stepped closer. "You threatened her." "She's dramatic," my daughter said sharply. "She twists things. She's 6. My daughter's jaw tightened. "You think you know better than me?" "I think you're hiding something," I said. "And I think my granddaughter is scared for a reason." She stared at me for a long second, then laughed, short and humorless. "You sound ridiculous," she said. "Get some sleep." She walked back to the house without another word. The next morning, I called an old friend. He used to work in environmental inspections. Retired now, careful man. Knows how to keep his mouth shut. I didn't give details, just asked a question. "If someone hid something heavy in a lake, wrapped in plastic, what would that tell you?" He was quiet for a moment. "Then, depends, but it's never for a good reason." I also noticed something else that morning. The boat. It hadn't moved since I arrived. No fishing gear, no life jackets. Nothing that suggested it was actually used. Just there, that afternoon while my daughter was out, Lily tugged my hand again. "She's angry," Lily whispered. "Why?" I asked. "She knows you looked." My heart sank. "Did she say that?" Lily nodded. "She said grown-ups who don't mind their business get in trouble." That was enough. I took Lily to my room and shut the door. "Lily," I said, kneeling in front of her, "I need you to be very honest with me. Has your mom ever hurt you?" She shook her head quickly. "Not like that." "Has she hurt anyone else?" I asked. Lily hesitated, then she whispered, "The man." "What man?" My voice came out rough. "The one who came before we moved," Lily said. "He yelled." Mom yelled louder. "Then he stopped coming." My skin prickled. "Did he go in the lake?" I asked, hating myself for the question. Lily's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know," she said. "But Mom said the lake keeps secrets." That night, I packed quietly, not to leave, to be ready. I took photos of the dock, the boat, the waterline. I wrote down times, dates. Everything Lily told me, word for word. I didn't confront my daughter again. Not yet, because whatever was under that boat had already crossed a line, and the next step wasn't a family conversation. It was finding out the truth without letting her know I was doing it. I stopped pretending this was a misunderstanding. From that moment on, every sound in the house felt like it carried meaning. Every word my daughter spoke sounded rehearsed. Every smile felt measured, and Lily noticed everything. Children always do. The next morning, my daughter announced she was taking Lily into town. Groceries, errands, normal things. I said nothing, I just watched. As they drove away, I went straight to the dock. The lake was still, the surface smooth as glass. I knelt again and leaned over the edge, peering into the water. The plastic-wrapped shape was still there, wedged between the hull and a rusted support beam. It was larger than I'd first realized. Too large to be trash, too deliberate to be accidental. I reached for my phone, took several photos from different angles, then forced myself to stop. The urge to pull it free was overwhelming, but instinct told me not to touch it. Not yet. Once I did, there would be no going back. Instead, I walked the shoreline. That's when I saw it. A faint drag mark in the mud, half hidden by reeds. It led from the tree line to the water's edge, right near the dock. Old, weathered, but still visible if you knew what to look for. Someone had moved something heavy. I followed the trail back into the trees until it disappeared among roots and leaves. My stomach churned. When Lily and her mother returned, I was sitting at the kitchen table, calm on the outside, shaking on the inside. "Everything okay?" my daughter asked. "Fine," I said. She studied me for a beat too long, then nodded. That afternoon, Lily drew pictures at the coffee table. I glanced over casually. Houses, trees, a stick figure of me, a smaller one of her. And then the lake, under the water, she'd drawn a dark shape. My chest tightened. "What's that?" I asked gently. She froze, crayon hovering. "That's the secret," she whispered. My daughter's voice cut in sharply from the kitchen. "Lily, what did I tell you about secrets?" Lily dropped the crayon like it burned her. "I'm sorry," she said automatically. I stood up. "That's enough," I said. My daughter's eyes narrowed. "Enough of what?" "Enough of scaring her into silence." She laughed, but there was no humor in it. "You're projecting." "No," I replied. "I'm paying attention." That night, Lily slept in my room again. She woke me just before dawn. "Grandpa," she whispered urgently. "She's moving it." I jumped up and looked out the window. My daughter was at the dock again. This time she wasn't alone. A man stood with her, tall, broad shoulders, baseball cap pulled low. I didn't recognize him. They worked quickly, quietly. The man leaned over the edge, straining, while my daughter steadied the boat. I felt panic claw at my chest. If they moved it, if whatever was under there disappeared, I'd lose everything. I grabbed my phone and hit record. The camera shook as I filmed from the window, zooming in as much as I could without being obvious. The man slipped, cursed under his breath. That sound carried across the water. I froze. It was a voice I recognized, the man Lily had mentioned, the one who stopped coming. My heart pounded so hard I thought Lily might hear it. They adjusted the bundle, pulling it closer to the center of the boat, securing it with rope. Then they pushed off. I watched them motor out into the lake, the sound fading into the fog. I didn't think. I grabbed my keys. I called my friend, the retired inspector, while I drove around the lake to the public access point. "I need you," I said. "Now, what's going on?" he asked. "I think someone's hiding something in the water," I replied, "and they're moving it." There was a pause, then "I'm on my way." By the time I reached the access point, the boat was just returning. The man jumped out first, wiped his hands on his jeans. My daughter followed, face pale but composed. They didn't see me. I filmed again. The man left quickly, disappearing down the road. My daughter stood at the dock for a long time after, staring at the water like she was daring it to betray her. When she finally turned, she saw me. Her face hardened instantly. "How long have you been spying on me?" she demanded. "Long enough," I said. She stepped closer. "You think you're clever?" "I think Lily is scared," I replied. "And I think you're lying." She leaned in close, voice low and shaking. "You have no idea what you're interfering with." "Then tell me," I said. She didn't. Instead, she said something that made my blood run cold. "If this comes out," she whispered, "Lily loses her mother." I stared at her. "You're threatening your own child. I'm warning you," she snapped. "Think about her future." That was the moment my denial finally died. This wasn't stress. This wasn't grief. This was calculation. That evening, my friend arrived. We sat on the porch, speaking quietly. He reviewed the photos, the video. His face grew serious. "This isn't something you handle alone," he said. "You need authorities." "And Lily?" I asked. He looked at me carefully. "Especially for her." That night, I lay awake listening to the lake. Every ripple sounded like a whisper. Every shadow felt like movement. I knew now that waiting wasn't protecting anyone. It was helping the wrong person. And the next step, the one I was about to take, would tear my family apart forever. Calling the authorities was the hardest decision I've ever made, not because I doubted what I'd seen, but because I knew what it would do to Lily. To the fragile world she still believed could be safe if she stayed quiet. I waited until morning. I needed daylight, witnesses, distance. My daughter left early, saying she had errands. Lily watched her go from the window, shoulders tense, hands clenched at her sides. "She's mad," Lily whispered. "I know," I said, "but you did the right thing." She looked up at me, eyes searching. "Am I in trouble?" "No," I said firmly. "You're protected." Those words felt heavy. I prayed they were true. When the sheriff arrived, I asked Lily to stay inside with Linda. I stepped onto the porch and told the story from the beginning. The fear, the dock, the plastic, the late-night movements, the man. I showed him the photos, the video. He didn't interrupt. Didn't rush me. When I finished, he nodded once. "You did the right thing calling." 2 more vehicles arrived, then another. They taped off the dock. Neighbors began to gather, drawn by the quiet urgency of official movements. I stood back, heart pounding, as a diver suited up. The lake that had looked so peaceful now felt like a mouth holding a secret. When they pulled the bundle up, the air changed. Even before it broke the surface, everyone knew. The plastic was thick. Sealed, weighted, they laid it on the dock. The sheriff met my eyes. "Sir, I need you to step back." I did. I didn't need to see what was inside to know this was real. My daughter arrived just as they began cutting the plastic. She stopped dead in her tracks. "What's going on?" she demanded. No one answered her. When she saw the bundle, her face drained of color. She took a step back, then another. "This isn't what it looks like," she said quickly. "You don't understand." The sheriff turned to her. "Ma'am, we're going to need you to come with us." She laughed, sharp, brittle. "For what? For trash in a lake?" Then they opened it. I turned away. I heard gasps, a curse, someone vomiting. My daughter screamed. "No," she cried. "I didn't mean." That was enough. They took her into custody while she shouted explanations no one was listening to anymore. Something about accidents. About mistakes, about people who wouldn't leave her alone. Lily watched from the window. She didn't cry. She just stood there, silent, as the truth finally stepped into the open. The man Lily had mentioned, the one who stopped coming, was identified later that day. Missing, reported months before. The timeline matched the move to the lake, the boat, the secrecy, the fear. That evening, Lily asked one question. "Is Mom bad?" I sat beside her on the couch. "No," I said carefully, "but she did something very wrong." "Because she was scared?" Lily asked. "Yes," I said. "And because she didn't ask for help?" Lily nodded slowly, like she was filing the answer away for later. That night, child services came. They were gentle, professional, kind. They asked Lily questions, simple ones, about how she felt, what she'd seen, what she was afraid of. Lily told the truth, all of it. She held my hand the whole time. When they left, the house felt hollow. The lake was quiet again, too quiet. Over the next few days, the story spread. Not wildly, not dramatically, just enough. People whispered, looked at the dock. Looked at me, some offered condolences. Others avoided my eyes. Emily's mother would have said it was humiliation. I called it consequence. Lily stayed with us. She slept better after the first week. Nightmares still came, but less often. When they did, she didn't hide. She came to us. One afternoon, while we were drawing together, she asked, "Did I save people?" I swallowed. "You saved yourself," I said, "and that matters most." The investigation continued. I answered questions, gave statements, handed over everything I had. The sheriff told me quietly, "If you hadn't spoken up, this could have gone on much longer." I nodded. The thought made me sick. Weeks passed. The dock was empty now, the boat gone. The lake looked like any other lake again, but I knew better. One evening, as the sun set, Lily stood beside me at the water's edge. "It looks normal," she said. "Yes," I replied. "But it's not," she added. I put my arm around her. "Some things never are again." She leaned into me, small and steady. And for the first time since she whispered that warning, I felt something close to peace. But peace didn't mean the story was over. It meant we were finally ready to face what came next. After the arrest, time stopped behaving normally. Days stretched thin. Nights collapsed into themselves. Every sound in the house carried weight, like it had something to say if I listened closely enough. Lily stayed with us, officially this time. No bags packed in a hurry, no whispers. Just a small suitcase placed gently by the door by a caseworker who spoke softly and smiled too much, like she was afraid of breaking something fragile. Temporary placement, she said. Until everything sorted, I nodded. Temporary was fine. Temporary meant safe. The first few nights were the hardest. Lily woke up crying, tangled in her blankets, asking if the lake could hear her, asking if her mom was still angry, asking if secrets could swim. I held her until her breathing slowed. I learned something then. Fear doesn't vanish when danger is removed. It lingers, it waits, it tests. During the day, reporters came. I didn't open the door. Friends called. Old neighbors from years ago. Some offered support. Others asked questions that felt like needles. What was she like as a kid? Did you see any signs? Do you think she planned it? I stopped answering. There are questions that don't deserve answers. The sheriff came by one afternoon, alone this time. He sat at the kitchen table and folded his hat carefully in his hands. There will be a trial, he said. It may take time. I understand, I replied. He hesitated. Your granddaughter, she's brave. She shouldn't have had to be, I said. He nodded. That evening, Lily sat with crayons at the table again. She drew a house, a big sun, me, Linda, then she drew the lake. This time the water was clear. What changed? I asked gently. She shrugged. You can see better when you're not scared. A week later, Lily asked if she could talk to her mom. The request hit me harder than anything else had. Why? I asked carefully. She didn't always used to be like that, Lily said. Sometimes she sang in the car. I swallowed. We spoke to the caseworker, to a counselor, to professionals who understood these things better than I ever could. They agreed to a supervised call. Lily sat on the couch, phone in her hands, legs tucked under her. Her mother's voice came through, strained, tired, unfamiliar. Lily, she said. There was a pause. Mom, Lily replied. No anger, no fear, just distance. I miss you, her mother said quickly. Lily looked at me, then back at the phone. I miss when you weren't scary. Silence, then a sob. The call ended shortly after. Lily didn't cry. She went outside and sat on the porch steps, watching the sky change color. She's sad, Lily said finally, but I don't want to go back. You don't have to, I said. That night, I sat alone on the dock for the first time since everything happened. The boards creaked under my weight. The water moved gently, innocent looking. I realized how easy it is to hide terrible things behind calm surfaces, how much we trust what looks peaceful. The investigation continued quietly. More details surfaced, patterns. Lies layered carefully over time. The man from the lake had been reported missing months before. Arguments, threats, a sudden disappearance. My daughter had believed she could bury consequences the same way she buried truth. She was wrong. One afternoon, Lily came home from school with a question. Grandpa, she said, can people be good and bad at the same time? Yes, I said. Most people are. Does that mean I could be bad someday? She asked. I knelt in front of her. It means you get to choose, she nodded thoughtfully. That choice, that simple, powerful idea became our anchor. Weeks passed. Lily started therapy. Quiet sessions with a woman who listened more than she spoke. Lily came home lighter each time. She says it wasn't my job to protect grown-ups, Lily told me one evening. That's right, I said. I thought it was, she admitted. So did I once. The house slowly filled with ordinary sounds again. Laughter, music, arguments over what to have for dinner. Normalcy returned, not because things were fixed, but because they were honest. One morning, Lily helped me water the garden. Grandpa, she said, do you think Mom hates me now? I set the hose down. No, I said, I think she hates what she did, and that's different. Lily considered this. I hope she gets better. So do I said, and I meant it. A letter arrived near the end of summer. Handwritten, careful, from my daughter. She didn't ask for forgiveness. She didn't explain. She wrote 3 sentences. I know I broke something I can't fix. I'm sorry I made her afraid. Please tell her I love her. I folded the letter and put it away. Some words need time before they're spoken. That night, Lily and I sat watching fireflies. Grandpa, she said. Yes, I'm glad I told you. I looked at her, small and steady and brave. So am I replied. Because if she hadn't, I don't finish that thought anymore. I don't need to. What matters is that she did, and that someone listened. The trial took longer than anyone wanted. Months passed between hearings, motions, delays that felt endless. The lake froze and thawed again. Seasons changed. Lily grew an inch taller. Her hair got longer, her laugh came easier. Life didn't stop because of what happened, but it did slow down. It learned to breathe again. I sat through every court date I was allowed to attend. Not out of anger, not out of revenge, but because I needed to understand how a family breaks so quietly that no one notices until it's too late. The courtroom was colder than it looked, bright lights. Hard benches, words like intent and evidence passed around as if they were simple things. They were. I listened as experts explained patterns, control, isolation, escalation. How fear becomes a tool, how silence becomes permission. I listened as my daughter spoke. She didn't look like the woman who'd stood at the dock in the dark. She looked smaller, tired, stripped of the certainty that had once armored her. When she talked about the man, she said the same word over and over. Pressure. Pressure to keep him quiet. Pressure to make things stop. Pressure to protect the life she thought she deserved. I didn't recognize the person she described, and that, more than anything, broke my heart. Because it meant I'd lost her long before the lake ever entered the story. Lily didn't attend the trial. She didn't need to. Her words were already there, on record, protected, respected. When the verdict came, there was no satisfaction, no relief, just a deep, quiet finality. Accountability doesn't feel like winning. It feels like gravity. Afterward, we drove home in silence. Lily watched the road pass by, humming softly to herself. "Is it done?" she asked finally. "The hard part is," I said. She nodded. "Okay." That was Lily's way. She accepted truth without dramatics. She didn't ask for punishment, she asked for safety. And safety, finally, was something I could promise. In the months that followed, Lily settled into a rhythm: school, friends, art classes she begged to join. She stopped drawing dark shapes underwater. Her pictures filled with animals, bright houses, wide skies. The lake stayed where it was, visible, calm, no longer holding power over us. Sometimes Lily asked questions about her mother, not accusatory, not fearful, curious. "Do you think she remembers singing in the car? Do you think she knows I like strawberries now? Do you think she thinks about me?" I answered honestly. Yes, 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 because people don't stop loving just because they fail. One afternoon, a year after everything began, Lily asked to visit the dock. I hesitated. She noticed. "I'm not scared," she said. "I know," I replied. "I just want to be sure." We walked down together. The boards creaked under our feet. The water reflected the sky like nothing had ever happened. Lily knelt and touched the surface with her fingertips. "It's cold," she said. "Yes," I agreed. "But it's just water now," she added. "Just water." That was the moment I understood something I hadn't before. Places don't hold evil. Secrets do. And once secrets are dragged into the light, they lose their teeth. That night, Lily wrote a letter. She didn't ask for help. She didn't show me until she was finished. It wasn't for her mother. It was for herself. She read it aloud at the kitchen table, voice steady. "I am allowed to tell the truth. I am allowed to feel safe. I am not responsible for grown-up mistakes." When she finished, she folded the paper carefully and slipped it into her backpack. "What's it for?" I asked. "So I don't forget," she said. "Neither will I." Life didn't become perfect. There were still hard days, school meetings, counseling appointments, moments when Lily went quiet and distant. Healing isn't linear, but it is possible. One evening, as I tucked Lily into bed, she asked a question that surprised me. "Grandpa," she said, "if I didn't tell you, what would have happened?" I sat on the edge of the bed for a long moment before answering. "Something worse," I said gently. She nodded, accepting it without fear. "Then I'm glad I told you," she said. "So am I," I replied. "Years from now, people will forget the details, the headlines, the whispers. They won't remember the dock, or the boat, or the cold weight of secrets hidden where no one thought to look. But I will remember one thing clearly: a small voice, a simple warning. And the moment I chose to listen. Because sometimes the bravest thing a child can do is speak, and sometimes the most important thing an adult can do is believe them. I don't look at the lake the same way anymore. I look at Lily, and I see truth.